All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's your boy Akeem, and welcome to this vlog. Here to give you a preview of Week 6 of the 2017 college football year, and I have some great matchups for you for this week. Starting in the Big Ten Conference between number 4 Penn State is going to be traveling to Illinois to face the Northwestern Wildcats. Now, Northwestern did get ran all over by Wisconsin last week, and I think they're going to try their best to have a good defensive effort, but they're going to have a hard time stopping Saquon Barkley, Shane McShirley, and company. This is a Penn State heavy offense, and I think that the Nittany Lions will pull off the victory. Next up in the SEC Conference, this could be an upset alert as Vanderbilt's going to be hosting number 5 UGA, but the Georgia Bulldogs been looking great running the football with Nick Chubb leading the way, and I do like their quarterback in Fromm. I think he's a good calm passer in the pocket. I'm going to have to go with the Bulldogs in this one. Next up, staying in the SEC Conference, as number 21 Florida is going to be hosting LSU. Now, LSU's been committing a lot of mental penalties for this team, and they've also been not doing too well in their run defense, and Florida's going to be focused more on running the football just to set up the pass, because I believe that they did lose their quarterback in Luke Del Rio, so Mr. Franks is going to have to step up as the starter for the remainder of the season, but we will see. Now, I do like their ground attack, particularly in Thompson. He's a big guy for the Florida Gators. I think this is going to be a good game for the Gators to watch, but let's not lose out on LSU, but they just have a lot of mental mistakes, and like I said, their ground defense was not looking too well this season. They even got ran over last week against Jordan Chun and Detroit Trojans. I will go with the Gators in this matchup. Next up in the ACC Conference, Florida State's going to be hosting number 13, the U. Florida State quarterback DeAndre Francois, that was a tough loss for the Noles. This ain't looking too well, and I think that these teams are going to be taking advantage of Florida State for the remainder of the season. They still have a young guy at quarterback to replace Francois, and I think that Miami's defense is going to dominate well in this matchup, just like how we've been seeing how NC State, who has been looking good as well this season. Next up, another upset alert, as number 10 Ohio State's going to be hosting Maryland. Now, the Terps did beat my Longhorns. They did lose to a good UCF team, but then they rebounded well and played a good game, 31-24 victory over the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. They have a great running back in Ty Johnson. He is a big-time home run threat due to a prolific speed that he has. Now, Ohio State's going to definitely try to key on stopping the run in this matchup, put more players in the box, and force the team to pass the football, but force Maryland to pass the football. But DJ Moore is their top wide receiver, and I think he's a decent prospect to look at in the near future. I will go with the Buckeyes in this one, but Maryland can't pull off the upset. Next up in the Big 12 Conference, is my Longhorns is going to be hosting 3-1 Kansas State. Now, Kansas State's doing a great job running the football despite their loss to Vanderbilt 14-7, and the Longhorns did a decent job against Iowa State with the 17-7 victory. They got to get something going offensively. I think defense been trying to keep the team in the minute, and I think defensively they're just gonna try to stop that the option attack that what the Wildcat offense has, and it's their quarterback in Jesse Ertz. I think the Longhorns is going to do just enough to pull off the upset. I will go with my Longhorns in this matchup. Next up, another upset alert, as number 1 Alabama is going to be traveling to College Station to face Texas A&M. Now, this will be a big win for Kevin Sumlin if he beats the Bama Roll Tide, Crimson Tide. But this is a team that Alabama's a team that's just way out of Texas A&M's league. Texas A&M cannot keep up with Alabama. There's too much of a powerhouse. People are already saying that Clemson and Alabama's going to make the playoff, and it looks like that they will. They don't really have too much of a tough schedule. Texas A&M can pull off the upset, but they do not have the physicality defensively to pull off the win. I will go with Bama in this matchup. Next up, a good matchup for you guys to watch, as SMU is going to be traveling to Houston. The SMU Mustangs been doing great job offensively, while the Cougars of Houston had a good defense led by Ed Oliver, who should be all conference come towards the end of the season. But he has a game time decision in this matchup, dealing with a little minor injury here. And if he's not on the field, I think that the defense will lose a lot, and he's a big time leader for the Houston Cougar defense. I will go with SMU in this matchup. I think their offense is going to put up enough points. Next up in the Big Ten Conference, headed back to the Big Ten, number 7 Michigan is going to be hosting brother little brother, whoever wants to call little brother, big brother, Michigan State. Michigan State pulled off a big win over Iowa, 17-10, while Michigan is still undefeated. And Coach Jim Harbaugh's been doing a great job recruiting players to replace the great players that they had last season. And the game is at Ann Arbor, even though East Lansing's not too far away from Ann Arbor, but I will go with the Wolverines in that matchup. Next up, this is going to be my upset game of the week. This game is going to be played in Eugene, Oregon, as the Ducks is going to be hosting number 11 Washington State. Now, the Cougars did a great job with a big upset 30-27 victory over USC at home. Now, Oregon, this is a team that still has a lot of speed in offense. They have good role players, skilled players offensively, and I think that even though Luke Falk's been doing a great job at quarterback for the Houston Cougars, it's just that the defense is not going to keep them in it in this matchup. I will go with the Ducks in this game. Sticking in the Pac-12 Conference, number 20 Utah is the upset alert game as well. They're going to be hosting Stanford, and Stanford running back Bryce Love, who had over 300 yards rushing last week, and he is one of the top 5 Heisman candidates so far in the season. He's actually leading the nation in rushing, and I think this is a great running back. I think he has 1,088 yards on the ground already, and we just got into the month of October. But I think that the defense for Utah is going to keep them in, and I think the Utah is going to pull off a close victory over a good Stanford team. Lastly, my game of the week, as number 8 TCU is going to be hosting number 23 West Virginia. New quarterback Will Greer has been doing a great job coming out of transfer from Florida. A good replacement for Skylar Howard last season for the Mountaineers, and I think that the Mountaineers can pull off this upset. But the TCU defense, they're back. They're doing a great job. Coach Gary Patterson definitely is rebound for what happened last season. If he had a tough year this year, he would have been on the hot seat entering the 2018 season. And I think that this defense is going to do great enough, and Kenny Hill's been doing an okay job at quarterback. I will go with the Horned Frogs over the Mountaineers in this matchup. Now, the next time I'm going to catch you guys will be on Tuesday morning, in which I will give you a recap of Week 6. Thank you for watching this vlog. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.